How's it going, YouTube? It's APOC. Today I'm going to make a lens where you can drag an image around the screen with your finger on Snapchat. I don't have an example to show you because it's going to be a video where I walk through the entire process. So it's going to be a very long video. I'll also be releasing the script at the end, so you can feel free to just, if you're here for a quick reference, go in the description, grab the script and use it. But if you actually want to learn about scripting in Lens Studio and my process, I don't know everything off the top of my head, so we're going to be referring to the Lens Studio documentation pretty frequently. Yeah, I'll just show you my process. Let's do it. So the first thing we're going to need is an orthographic camera with a screen image. Screen image is basically an image in screen space, not 3D world space. So it's good for 2D images, things that, you know, you want to stay the same size and things like that. So easiest way to do that is just to add a screen image. Will automatically add the ortho cam and everything. Now we want to shrink this down so we have room to drag it, and we also want to make sure, because this is technically the boundary, like all this would still be considered inside the image. So we can actually shrink this down to fit more closer to that. And you can also just cheat this by doing stretch, but you know, or fill might be better in this case because that's going to fill it, but also keep it at the right aspect ratio. So we're actually going to stick with fill. And now we can move it around. Let's make it a little smaller. So this is basically what we're going to try and replicate over here. This movement style. So we're just going to put this in the center for now. And let's get making some script. Actually, let's rename this. Just right click, rename. Character. I don't know. We'll call it character. So let's make a script. I'm going to make a new scene object to hold my script. I'll label the script holder for y'all. I'll put that at the bottom because we're going to be using the character here, so it needs to make sure the script is loaded after that. So we'll use script holder, and then we're going to add new script. You can also do visual scripting now, but this is going to be not visual scripting. It's going to be just coding it out in JavaScript. All right, so what I did there was make the script in the resources, and I dragged it over into the inspector. Now I'm going to rename the script. We're just going to call it move car for character. Now you just double click on this and open it up in Lens Studio. I'm just going to code it out here in Lens Studio. Typically I would use VS Code or something, but it shouldn't be too crazy long of a script. And this also gives you the nice like auto completion here that you can see. Yeah. All right, so let's just start. What are we going to need to do this? First, we're going to need to access a touch event. Now, this is going to be a screen touch event, so we don't need a touch component or anything. So let's just make ourselves a touch event. So let's go down a little bit because we're going to input some stuff up here. Come down to like line 10, I guess. Call this var touch event, or touch move event is what we're going to make. Equals script dot create event. Yeah, touch move event is going to tell us there. And then we're going to do on move, or this should be function on move. And this is going to be position, or no, it's going to be event data. Okay. And then we want to bind this event to this function. You know, JavaScript, if you're a developer outside of JavaScript, the functions, they don't have to be made before you use them, really. I mean, they do, but if you're like binding this, for instance, the function's going to exist when it's called, so it doesn't really matter. Like the function does not have to be in the script above this. It technically does have to exist before it calls it, but it does not have to be placed or in the script above it. That's what I'm trying to get at. So we're going to touch move event dot bind. Yeah, like this, I think. Let's try it. We're just going to print event data. I don't know what that actually is, but see that. Yep, every time I move my mouse, it's actually printing something. I believe it's the get touch position, I believe. Let's try .x so we can see if it's actually a number. And this should be a function. Yeah, function call. Okay, so yeah, that's right. So if you want to see the actual touch position, little trick here inside your print, because if you do it like this, you're just going to get, oh, actually, no, it prints it out now. Okay, sometimes it'll just give you an object, and what you can do is JSON.stringify, voice just got weird there, stringify, wrap that around, and you'd be good to go. But since it's already printing like this, we're good. So yeah, we can see how this is working. Nice. So now we need to actually make this move our image. So what we need to do now is actually import our image. But let's go back on our screen image. So we can see our screen image has a screen transform. And this is actually what we need to access, not the image. So instead of inputting like component.image, we're going to do at input component.screen transform to get that screen transform component. We'll call this car screen transform. Okay, so now let's click back on our script holder and we should see the input there for that. Just drag that in there and it'll grab the component off of it. All right, so on move, let's save our touch pose here to a variable. So our touch pose equals this. Get rid of that print for now. And what we need to do is the screen transform. We're going to set the center to the touch position. So let's just do, we can actually call that. Yeah. All right. Let's just show you this first. So it should be a script. If you're accessing an input, it's always going to be under the script. So do script dot car screen transform. I can't talk. Dot anchors to access the anchors of that, since it's a quad, I guess, or yeah, rect, whatever. And then we're going to do set center. I don't know if this is going to consider itself a vec2. Let's try it. Okay, yeah, it does. But you may notice that the screen transforms coordinate system does not match up to the touch position. I think screen transform is 1 to -1 with 0 in the middle, but touch position is like 0.5 here. I think it's like 0 is here, top left, and the screen position is 0 in the middle. So we have to convert that. Luckily, Snapchat offers a way to do that, which we're going to refer to documentation to do. So let's go under Learn, API Components, come on down to Screen Transform, and you can see all these functions we have under our screen transform. One of them is screen point to, I believe it's local point we want. Then the screen transforms bounds. No, it should be local point to screen point. Screen point to parent point, that's what we're looking for. So yeah, converts the screen position to a normalized -1 to 1 position. Then the parent object's bounds. Yeah, so it can be used directly for the screen transform anchor positioning. That's one we want right here. I think it's actually down here in an example. Oh, this world. Oh yeah. Yeah, this is pretty much exactly what we're doing right here. So what we need to do is use screen point to parent point. I'm actually just going to copy that so it's easier. So converted equals script.car screen transform screen point to parent point touch pose, and then we just need to set our center to converted. That should do it. There you go. So now you're basically done, but I actually want to go one step further, because as you can see, I can just take this off the screen. Now you wouldn't be able to touch off the screen if you're actually in Snapchat, but you would be able to do something like that where it's halfway off the screen. Now you may want that, so that's where we're going to actually make a Boolean input. So we're going to do at input, I want to say it's bool, yep, allow off screen. That should do it, and there you go. So we can check this if we want it to allow it to go off the screen. If not, then we don't allow it. So yeah, what we can do here is do if allow or script not bad. Script.allow off screen is true. Just what it's going to be if it's checked, so we don't have to do like an equal sign or anything. Then we just do that. Otherwise, we're going to get some math going here. There may be a better way to do this. Let me actually double check. Yeah, I don't know if there's an easy conversion, but we're just going to manually do it. I mean, we know it's -1 to 1, -1 to 1, or the other way around. We'll figure it out. So what we're actually going to do is just keep it within its bounds. And the way to do that is var size equals script.car screen transform dot anchors get size. I may be getting a little ahead of, let's do offset actually. Call it offset. Might be getting a little ahead of myself here in the script, but let me talk about what I'm doing. So basically we're going to restrict it so that, let's check this so I can, this right here, our center point, we want it to not go further than this. So we need to make it seem like that center point is, or just check the center point plus half the size of the image. So that's what we're doing here. Offset equals the anchors dot get size, which gives us the size of the image, divided by 2. Now you do have to make sure your anchors are lined up to the image like I showed you earlier. If they are, then it should match up perfectly like this. Okay, so then we have to actually check for that. So if let's see, script dot, or no, if converted dot x is less than dot x minus offset, because x would be negative, so we're doing, yeah, subtraction. Converted dot x minus offset is less than -1. Converted dot x equals -1. So it's basically saying if this center point, if our touch position here minus that half size of the image is less than -1, which is the side of the screen, then just stick it to that side of the screen. And we actually need to add the offset then, plus offset, to make sure that it sticks there. Let's try that out. We should be able to just do this code again. So maybe we don't actually need to do all this. We'll just make it more nicer, I guess, if we do it like this. Might change that to make it better later, but, you know, refactor later. So it doesn't seem to be working. Let's just figure out what's going on then. First off, that's a problem. We need to turn that off. Still doesn't seem to be working. Let's print converted. Let's see what we get here. So it's not actually saying that. It's converted.x modified though. No. So we have to check converted.x plus offset might be what we need. Doesn't seem to be doing that either. So this is just some troubleshooting now. Let's see where I messed up in the code. It might just be we need to remake this converted vec2, but we'll see. We're just going to do converted.x plus offset. What does that equal? Oh, add an extra s there. It was not a number. Okay. Let's get rid of this print so we know it's printing. So this is not a number, converted.x plus offset. So is our get size wrong? It is wrong. Yes, that's our problem. Okay, so get size is actually an x and a y value. So we need to do offset.x for these, because the X size is the width. So that should fix it, I think. Let's see if offset.x works. Okay, yeah, okay. That's why. We need to actually, so let me go back to this. We can't divide by 2 until we have that set out to values. So what I'm actually going to do is just make a new vec2 here for our offset. Call it the same thing, basically. We'll just copy and paste this, but adding in our .x and .y. It's going to be a bit long of code. Could shorten it, but so again, you always, just kind of get going, see how it works out, and refactor later. It's a bit hard to get to the end here. Just put our closing parentheses, what I'm looking for. Apparently it just wants to make 2. Okay. It's really not gonna like that. There we go. Is that good? Okay. Yes, it's working. Wonderful. Let's see. There we go. So it's sticking to the side of the screen. Seems to happen a little late sometimes. Maybe it is minus offset that needs to be done. Oops. Yeah, it's definitely minus offset that needed to be done there. So I was right initially. Okay, so now we need to do that to the right, so we can actually just flip this. Kind of wish it was like VS Code where it's formatting for me, but whatever. And we're just going to change this to plus. And change this to minus. Messing up on my buttons. And that's going to be changed to 1. And that's also going to change to 1. That should work. It didn't work. Converted.x plus offset.x is greater than 1. That also needs to change. There we go, guys. Just like that, we got the x and y, or the left and right working. All right, let's do it for the y now. It's basically the same thing repeated. Just y. Actually, let's copy both of these, and then we don't have to change all the signs. So, we can't do multi-cursor on this, can we? Oh well. Y dot y dot y. Just change all of them real fast. Could use the find and replace feature to do this faster as well, but figuring that out. It's easier to do it this way. There we go. So now it's constrained to the screen's bounds. And if we allow off screen, it's no longer constrained to the bounds. So that is it. And you'll notice it doesn't work on touch start. If you wanted to make it work on touch start, you could just add another event that calls this function, which would be touch start event. But I only want it on touch move when they actually start trying to move it. So that's that. The other problem you're going to run into, I can't really show you without showing my phone, which I don't have set up to show on my screen right now. But when they go like this, it's going to swipe out of the camera, or at least swipe between lenses, something like that. Swiping does things in Snapchat. You can disable that with global.touch blocking. Since we're already running the script on initialize, we can put it in here. So I'm going to do global dot, I think it's touch system. Let's actually refer to the documentation here. We're just going to search for touch blocking. There we go. Touch data provider. Okay. And if we scroll down, it shows us some examples. Touch system.touch blocking equals true. We just need to copy that in. And then we want to do touch type swipe. We'll copy that. And this is how we do it. Enabling an exception. So actually we don't need to copy anything because all of these things are currently disabled. But if you wanted to enable one, you could do like touch type tap. So actually let's let's do double tap. That's a common thing clients ask me to enable. So we're going to enable double tap. And to do that, we need to enable a touch blocking exception. Let's do that. So the double tap flips the camera by default in Snapchat, and our touch blocking is blocking that. So let's do enable a touch blocking exception, touch type double tap, and I believe you have to set that to true. I'm gonna go ahead and push this lens to my phone real quick, just to make sure that everything's right. Again, I forgot to set it up to show you guys my phone, but you just take my word for it and try out the script yourself. So I actually want to also try out the on-screen detection. The swiping is working. That's good. RAM usage and everything's fine. Yep, everything is working perfectly, guys. And the double tap does work to flip the camera. Another thing you may want to add is the tap back. You could just add, touch type tap. That sets, I believe it sets the white balance on the camera. I don't know, it kind of like focuses the camera onto the spot where you tap. That might be something you want to enable as well, but definitely allowing users to double tap and flip the camera, really common thing people want to do. My clients always ask me to enable that feature when I have touch blocking enabled. So there you go. That's it, guys. 44 lines with some white space. Again, the script is going to be in the description below. If you just want to take the script and use it, go ahead. If you stayed this long, I think we've been recording 21 minutes now. I hope you learned something. Comment below if you have any of your own tips to give me about my process you've seen in here, or ask some questions, things like that. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you hit the like button, the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.